We're going to be fixing real posts from designers inside of our marketing membership. I'm going to be fixing it so that it goes from being a okay piece of content to something that actually helps them book design clients. Booking clients from social media has nothing to do with your follower count. It has nothing to do with going viral, and you don't have to have crazy high-tech equipment or anything like that to make a post that actually resonates with the people you want to work with and get them in your inbox.
Welcome to the Unapologetic Designer Podcast, where we chat controversial design topics and expose the raw truth about life as a designer.
Today, we're going to be fixing real posts from designers inside of our marketing membership. I'm going to be fixing it so that it goes from being a okay piece of content to something that actually helps them book design clients. Now, I want to remind you that booking clients from social media has nothing to do with your follower count. It has nothing to do with going viral, and you don't have to have crazy high-tech equipment or anything like that to make a post that actually resonates with the people you want to work with and get them in your inbox. Now, if you're new here, hello, I'm a design coach, I'm a design business owner, and I have students who are hitting 10K months with 1,000 followers or less. I have interviewed designers working on six-figure projects who have little to no social media, and I am also the mastermind behind a seven-figure business owner's education platform, and I am in charge of her content that's all about selling her platform to other people. Somebody just enrolled in our marketing membership while I was recording this. I don't know if you guys just heard that. The little cha-ching sound just went off. Anyways, that really distracted me. I hope that gives you some better background context and also makes you feel at ease about the fact that maybe you don't have 10K followers, maybe you don't even have 1,000 followers. It doesn't matter. You can still book high ticket design clients using your minimum viable audience. Essentially what that means is the smallest group of amount of people who are your dream clients. Most of us, if you really think about it, probably only need 20 clients or less a year. I mean, that's for me personally, but like even to run a six-figure business, you probably need less than 100 clients, like over multiple years. So, social media has a funny way of making us think that if we aren't going viral, if we don't have all these followers, if we aren't getting all of this engagement, that we're doomed and nothing's going to work for us. And it doesn't matter what we post because nobody's seeing it. And you guys, that's just all bullshit. That is all society putting an emphasis on status, right? Like our society has made us think that these numbers and these vanity metrics are all that matters. At the end of the day, that's just not reality. That's not the truth. I have met people who are working with celebrities and famous people, and they don't have a big following. They're not even hardly active on social media. They posted the right thing, made it strategic, it resonated with the right person at the right time, and that's how they got connected with them. That's how they booked that client. That's how they got that job, not from all of these other things that social media and society makes us think equal success. So let's get into it. I am recording this on video, so for those of you who are listening, if you want to see the visual, there will be a video. It's on the Brief Collective's YouTube channel, and it's also on Spotify. I know Spotify does video too, so you can find the video version in both of those places. I'll also link the YouTube video below in the description, just so it's really easy for you to get to that. Okay, so let's look at our first post from Olivia. Her post says, "Your website is losing you customers every single day. Here's why." And then when we go to the next slide, we see it's not because you're bad at what you do, not because your offer isn't good, but because your website doesn't clearly say who it is for, it doesn't build trust fast enough, it doesn't guide people to a decision. And then if I keep clicking to the end, she basically, pitches a call to action to inquire with her to get the website fixed. My biggest critique as a design coach and somebody that kind of specializes in marketing at this point is that your hook is the most important thing about your post. If the hook doesn't drive curiosity and it just feels like another statement, people aren't going to read the post. So even if the rest of the post is really good, if your hook isn't good, you've lost most people. In this instance, I think the original hook, your website is losing you customers every single day, is true. That's probably factual, but it reads like a generic marketing statement. And so it doesn't sound like it came from a real experience. Like, how many times have you scrolled on Instagram and seen somebody say, your marketing isn't working because blah, 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 or you need to buy a new freebie because the one you have now is driving blah, blah, blah. Like, we've seen the same thing so many times that this statement, this quote unquote hook alone, isn't really a hook anymore. It's just a marketing statement, and people are already in their brains going to see that and say, oh, they're going to sell me on something. I don't want to read it. Right? Like, we are so smart now when it comes to identifying ads. Everybody is. Everybody knows them, right? So to turn this into a real hook, you don't want to lead with the conclusion. You want to lead with the moment that it happens. And so when I say the moment it happens, I'm talking about the scene. What is actually going on in this situation? Somebody clicks on the website, they hesitate, they might get confused because of the navigation, they suddenly don't trust it, and then they leave. And that's when the business owner loses the sale. That's what's happening when we put it into a storytelling format. And so if we can generate a hook that better describes the scene, it'll make people stop and be like, wait, that's me. That literally happens to me, or I feel like I've done that with other people's websites before, or maybe that's what's happening when people get to my website. So a new hook might be something more like, my client was getting traffic to her site daily, but no one was clicking buy. Here are 3 hidden website mistakes that were quietly costing her sales. So now this generic statement, your website is losing you customers every single day, has been turned into a story. My client was getting traffic to her site daily, but no one was clicking buy. And then instead of saying, here's why, we said, here are 3 hidden website mistakes that were quietly costing her sales. And I purposely threw the word hidden in there because it makes it more mysterious. Hidden website mistakes, what is that? What are those mistakes that are hiding? I must know what those are, right? So this setup turns into more of an emotional pull. We feel emotionally pulled into the story. Like, we're watching that situation happen to somebody else, and then we can associate that story with ourselves, or the client can associate that story with themselves. Instead of it feeling like you're being talked at and need to buy something else, buy somebody else's service, it's a story that pulls them in. That's what good content does. Let's move on to the next one. The first slide of this post reads, if I could introduce you to your new brand, ... That's what we have. This isn't really a hook, and it's more of an invitation. There is no tension, there's no problem, and nothing that makes somebody stop scrolling and think, wait, that's me. I see myself in that situation, or I need to find out the answer to that because that's happening to me. Things like that. And it also gives away the whole point immediately, which leaves no curiosity to keep on reading the post. Like, we already know what we're going to get. If I could introduce you to your new brand, we already kind of know what this post is going to say. We already know what we're getting out of it. And because there's no tension or no problem, no curiosity, we don't care to keep scrolling, right? To fix this, we could rework it again into a story, a specific moment that proves the message instead of just stating it. So for example, you could base this post off of a time that you loved a product and you were ready to reorder and realized you couldn't remember the brand name because the branding itself didn't stick with you. That type of real world scenario can hook people a lot faster than just introducing a quote unquote new brand to somebody. So here's an example of a hook. I bought from this brand and forgot their name 10 minutes later. Here's why their brand wasn't memorable. And then you can go on to explain why you couldn't remember the brand, what the problems were, why this is so important, and how other people might be forgetting the brand of potential clients because they're making all of these mistakes that you cover in this post or in this video. This will make it feel much more relatable, and it'll convert better too because it's based on a real life experience. And this next post is an actual video, an actual reel. Those other two were carousels. So let's check this one out. This one is from Jessica. And this is actually a trending idea from our monthly content playbook that we provide inside of our marketing membership. And when I play the video, the first thing on screen is this February 14th, ... She doesn't want flowers. She wants a cohesive brand. And so essentially I told her that she should actually start with your girlfriend doesn't want flowers, ... instead of saying this February 14th. That way it hooks people a little bit more and they're already anticipating what she's going to potentially present instead of flowers. And then I encouraged her to add 1 or 2 mock-ups of her work at the end. So this is a great example of not necessarily fixing much of a copy hook, but a visual reference to better communicate the point of the video. So a lot of times I see creatives make good videos or they have, some decent copy on the video where they're teaching something, talking about something, referencing their services, but then there aren't actually any visuals to support what they're saying. And so if you see an opportunity to show off your work or showcase something not only through copy but through visuals as well, you should do that, because the more you stack the different touch points, the easier it is to communicate your point. Like, she could have just left this with she wants a new brand, but by showing her work, it gives people another layer of context to what she's talking about. Hopefully these 3 examples have helped you better understand how to position your own post and create better hooks so people actually watch your content and feel compelled to take action and inquire with you. Now, if you would like me to go over your content, get feedback directly from me on what you're creating, and get access to our monthly plug and play content plan, the link to join our marketing membership is below. And every other Monday, we have live hot seat calls where we review content together. This membership is perfect for those of you who feel like you're constantly showing up, posting content, generating new ideas, but never getting any inquiries or results from being on social media. This membership is also a great fit for established designers who simply just want a plug and play content plan and want to show up with more ease and not have to think so much about every single idea they're creating from scratch. It's also a great place to get more comfortable with the idea of putting yourself out there. So as soon as you join, you get access to our social media glow up class, which basically breaks down how to have a good high converting social media bio, what you need in your profile picture, what you need in your username and title and links page and all of those things. But we also have a class all about how to get over your fear of being seen online. So for those of you who avoid social media and avoid putting yourself out there and consistently overthink every single post you go to create, this is a terrific class for you to watch, which again, you get completely for free when you join our marketing membership. This is not, however, for designers who want a quick fix. If you just want to join, see what's in there, watch stuff one time, and then leave, that's not going to do anything for you. This is not for designers who don't want to use social media. If you just want to stick to referrals and networking and what you've been doing, that's great. Do that. If you have no interest in reaching more clients and creating better content from social media, then this marketing membership isn't for you. Our expertise lies in Instagram, it lies in TikTok, it lies in the strategy behind selling. And so those are the things that we cover inside of our marketing membership. And by learning those things alone, it will help you not only create better content, but better communicate your ideas, not just in social content, but to clients. When you're speaking to clients, when you're trying to formulate in your head, why is this going to work for the client and how can I communicate that to them? By creating social content and learning how to better structure the copy, the hooks, the entire post, you will get better communication skills. And I know that because it happened to me. When I first started posting on social media, I was so uncomfortable. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I just started out by using like audios. I never really used my voice at first. And the more I did it, the more comfortable I got. But I also noticed that I got far better at articulating my ideas to people. Now I'm able to come here and share that with you and teach that to others because I've spent years doing this. I hope that it has been useful and helpful for you to learn these things as well. So our next hot seat call is quite literally today. If you want to show up, hang out, get direct feedback on your content from me and my co-founder, Coach Marissa, and all of the other designers in our marketing membership, I hope to see you in there at our next call. If you want to hear more designer success stories, go ahead and subscribe to the Unapologetic Designer podcast. If you want to join our design community at the Brief Collective or enroll in Design Biz Academy, information on how to do that can be found in the description.